In the middle of my straw bale garden, I have a double row of my straw bales, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame these out. I'm going to use 18-inch pieces of 2x4s for my corners, and then I have a 10-foot piece of pressure treated 2x4. I'm going to run these. I've got 4 of these. I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom, connect them with my corner pieces. The reason I'm doing this, you don't have to do this, I'm doing this so that it will keep the bales intact, and I can possibly use these for 2 seasons instead of just one, at least this section of my straw bale garden. What I'm going to do is try to use these bales next year, as well as if they shrink, I'm going to take pieces of the other bales that have decomposed but not completely turned to compost. I'm going to take and put those on top. That way I can grow things in this bed next year without purchasing these 6 bales. I can reuse this bed in my next garden season. So I'm going to get started making this frame for this part of the straw bale garden. I have 4 10-foot 2x4s, pressure treated 2x4s for the sides of the frame for the straw bale garden. So what I'm going to have to do, my smallest one is 10 3/8, so I'm going to cut them all to 10 3/8 to get what I need as far as have them all the same length. It doesn't really matter as long as it fits around the straw bales. So I'm going to cut them all to 10 3/8. Okay, now that I've got all of these, I've got 4 10-foot boards cut to 10 3/8. I have 8 corner pieces cut to 18 inches. We're going to go out to the garden and we're going to frame this up. I have my drill with a, actually it's got a Phillips bit in it, but I've got the star bit for these exterior screws, as well as a drill bit to pre-drill some holes for my screws. And then I have my gloves to protect my hands. So let's get started on putting this frame together. I have both 2.5 inch and 1 5/8 inch exterior screws. I'm going to see which one I need. Maybe use both. We'll see. Not going to put this other board all the way to the bottom. I'm going to keep it up off the ground. I'm going to leave about 7 inches. These end posts, the end supports in, I'm going to take those back off because I want it to overlap my end pieces. So that's a mistake on my part. I'm going to take those back off, and I'm going to measure from the edge of this board to the edge of the other board, the other 10 foot, and that gives me 35 inches. So I'm going to cut a 35 inch, I'm going to cut 4 35-inch boards, 2 for each end. I finished the framework for my center rows of my straw bale garden. The framework will keep it all in place and through the winter and keep it all here, so hopefully I can use these and plant in these bales next year as well. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button below, and if you like the content of my channel, please subscribe. This has been Gardening with Tracy. Thank you for watching.